Hey, if you're like me, you've always been told that video games are going to rot your brain, they're a waste of time, you're never going to get anything out of them, so you might as well go ahead and do something more productive. I think that's absolutely false. I think that video games, when designed well, help us learn and help us become better people. Here's 3 ways we think video games help us learn. Hey, if you're new to this channel, go ahead, press subscribe, hit that like button, and let's talk about 3 ways that video games have helped us learn. The first one is through level design. A good video game has always had good level design. It doesn't need a tutorial, it doesn't need overly complicated instructions. It shows you in the video game what you're going to be facing, what your new skill is, and how it affects the environment or the enemies or the puzzle. You don't need to go through and be lectured at to learn this. You visually see it, you have some sort of auditory clue, you go in and you practice it, you do it several times, you match it up with previously learned skills, and then you go and you beat a boss, or you beat the puzzle. That is how you learn through the environment. Now, that translates into real life. A lot of us sit here and we get lectured at on how to do something better, but we don't learn it that way. How do we learn it? Well, they want us to do role playing, they want us to do some type of worksheet. For a lot of people, it's actually going out and experiencing that interaction, whatever that skill was. Whether it's doing the math problem in high school or going through and figuring out how to be a better communicator in the workplace, being a better presenter, anything like that. We go through, and it's through the environment. We look at people. We see if what we're saying is having a reaction, if they're tuning us out, or if it's actually having some sort of buy-in. So if I sit here, and I'm prim, and I'm proper, and I just use a very, very monotone voice, and I'm not moving at all, nobody is going to pay attention because there's nothing drawing you to the screen. You're just going to click onto the next video. That's not what we want. We want to learn. We want to pull that information. It's got to be engaging. So the environment has to be engaging. Has to teach us through the environment. The second one is it has to challenge us. If something is too easy or if it's too hard, we don't want to continue. If it's too easy, it's not worth our time. Why am I wasting my time with this? This is just busy work. I don't care. Get rid of it. If it's too hard, why have you given this to me? It's an impossible task. This is pointless. Why am I going to waste my time getting berated, getting destroyed over nothing? Let me do something I'm good at. Let me figure out how to manage a problem I can actually deal with instead of having something too easy or too hard. And once we find that problem and we want to do that problem because it's being shaped well, then all of a sudden we get into the flow. We're working at near peak capacity and we're moving forward. And I know if you've played video games, you've felt this flow before. Going through, playing Call of Duty, and you're getting your butt kicked a couple times, and then all of a sudden it's just happening. Stuff makes sense. You're anticipating where the enemies are coming from. You're already there. You understand what's going to happen. Or you get into Tetris. Oh my goodness, I'm dating myself with Tetris. And you're just not getting past this level, and then all of a sudden it just clicks, and you're seeing stuff happen, and you're seeing the pieces as they're falling, and you're just building lines in your head before the pieces are even coming down on the board. Getting into that flow because it's the right challenge and it's the right mentality. That's one of the second things that it's taught us. Always put the challenge right there, just where we need to grow, right where we need to expand at. The third one, give us a starting point, give us an end point. We need to have a defined set for what we're doing. If it's kind of ambiguous on where we're starting, we don't know what materials we have, we don't know what people we have, we don't know what we're doing with this, I don't know where to start. If you haven't been given a clear, defined endpoint, you don't know what the goal is. So you're just wandering lost. So a couple really good games have been out there. Star Wars Galaxies had no endgame. You were just wandering lost. You had to make up your own endgame. You know what? It had a lot of great mechanics in there, but without that endgame, it didn't do very well. WoW, on the other hand, was fantastic at shaping this. You knew where you started. You knew where you wanted to be to get to that max level. And then when you got to the max level, it continued the story. There were still more definable goals. and you kept moving towards it. You went from point A to point B to point C. Video games have taught us start here with these things, whatever it is. It might just be knowledge, it might be materials, it might be something, and progress. Learn through the environment. Continue moving forward. Get to the end point. This is the goal. You're going to get there. So that's 3 ways that video games have helped us learn, and it's really simple. You would think that this is something that we wouldn't really need to say, yeah, video games help me do this. But if you look at the way we've been taught, we're not taught to learn through the environment anymore. We're getting lectured at it. We're not taught to go into flow. We're learning to regurgitate information. Who remembers doing just worksheets and worksheets and worksheets? Who does data dumps all the time? Hey, I learned this information for this project. Now I data dumped it. I have no recollection of what I just spent the last year working on. Or you've been assigned a project and you don't know what the project is. You just know that, hey, I need to do something with this stuff over here. So if we can do these 3 things that good video games actually do, then we're going to be a lot more successful at life. Hey, if you liked this video, do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe. Let us know what you think is the most important way video games have taught us to learn and improve our lives. Hey, this has been Ridir Gaming. We'll see you next time.